God, ramen and sushi. I mean, I have a clear winner with this one, I think.
I think we all have the same idea of what we're going to pick. I think we're all going to pick sushi.
Yes.
Which is fine, but we can discuss the nuances.
We can discuss the nuances.
If you had asked me when I was back in like college, I would have definitely said ramen, 100%. But just as you get older, just the less you crave it for whatever. And I feel especially the longer you live in Japan, the less you crave it. Which is ironic because I think out of all of the restaurant establishments that exist in Japan, there are the most amount of ramen restaurants.
Yeah. I was not a big sushi person when I came to Japan. I kind of forced myself to eat it.
Yeah, I remember you said you didn't used to like
it. I wanted to like it so bad.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of hoping one day I would just like it. And then one day I just had that craving for it. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Here we go. Here we go.
I remember when we moved to Japan, I think like after some Trash Cheese recordings, we normally get dinner. And I'd always like request sushi, and Connor's like, maybe for lunch. Maybe if it was lunch. I can't do sushi.
I'm converted now.
I can't do sushi. So we never really used to eat sushi together because I have only grown my love for sushi moving to Japan. Ramen, I remember when I came to visit here, I would always have to get ramen at least like once a week. You know, when I was here as a tourist, I was like,
you got to do ramen.
As a tourist, I completely understand.
Yeah, and it tasted amazing. But after moving here, I actually barely eat ramen.
See, I'm thinking about it like this, right? Kind of like in the same as the taco versus burger argument, where like I'm thinking about the best sushi I've ever had as opposed to the best ramen I've ever had.
Best ramen beats best sushi, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
It
We
does.
went to that fucking Michelin star ramen place, and I was like, oh, how does this have a Michelin star? It was not that
That's
good.
a tough one, guy.
No.
Whereas with sushi, I've had some of the most amazing sushi.
Does ramen does it include sukemen in this argument? It's kind of the same dish.
It is kind of the same dish.
It's basically the same dish, just different order.
Yeah.
Even if I were to include sukemen, I'd still vote sushi.
No, I still would too. But
Yeah.
I'm saying like, if we're talking like the best I've ever had, that place in Ikebukuro, is my favorite.
That one's goated.
Yeah, that one's
the
great.
one in Akabane.
The one in Akabane.
The one in
as
Akabane is
well.
great too.
Had some in had ramen in Sapporo that was like fucking
Sapporo ramen's great.
amazing
Yeah.
as well. Like to me, the best ramen I've ever had beats the best sushi I ever had because I love sushi.
I agree.
I love sushi, but sushi, there's only so much you can do with it.
I thought so too until I had the peak of sushi in a video.
What was the peak of sushi?
The peak of sushi was I did it in a video where I stayed at that $10,000 hotel, and they had a service in that $10,000 hotel where they invited the best sushi chef in the world to basically make sushi for you. And I was like, okay, it's fucking, raw fish. How good could it possibly get? And he cut me this piece of chutoro, which is like the kind of fatty part of the tuna, and I ate it. You don't see it in the video. I was rock hard. Like I actually, I didn't think food could give me an erection, and that one most certainly did.
What?
I was shocked, and like
Bro, I was living food wars.
Dude, it was like a real life food war, and because it was crazy, right? Because again, it's like I understand when it comes to like ramen, there's like so much you can do with it, right? Like for example, the Michelin star one, right? Like that one was a lot different to your standard ramen in all sorts of different ways with the things they put in it, the broth and stuff like that, and it was good. Don't get me wrong, but I think just the fact that like something as simple as raw fish, you can easily taste the difference between a good quality one and a bad quality one. Whereas with ramen, I feel it's a little bit harder.
All the ramen places lost their Michelin star.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they Michelin changed their criteria. What can be a Michelin star?
Right.
And it kind of just meant that any ramen just couldn't qualify.
Oh, damn.
Why?
Why?
Because it's street food?
Yeah, I think they were trying to get away from like street food being Michelin's. I don't know actually. Maybe we can Google this. I actually don't know. But
French at it again.
I imagine they wanted to kind of like not like dilute what Michelin star means.
Right.
I imagine they want Michelin star to be unaffordable, like to the average person.
Yeah,
like I think I don't know why.
Man, they're really fucking thinking
But
highly
like
of
also,
themselves as a
I don't
tire
be that
company.
guy, but like that ramen place is in like the peak tourist location. I just have to believe that like the Michelin guy just rocked up to the first ramen joint he found and gave it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like that place was good, but like
Not Michelin
it's not even
star.
like top 10 for me.
No, definitely
Like
not.
Like, I don't understand what makes it Michelin star, and I feel like it's unfair to every other ramen restaurant to give this one guy a Michelin star. Like,
It says apparently lack of consistency is a main reason why a star is taken away.
I mean, I feel like out of all foods, ramen is probably like the most consistent.
That is
Yeah,
like,
that is
it's
true.
literally
Yeah.
the same shit every day.
I mean, it's weird when it comes to like Michelin star street food, right? Because I do, in some ways, I do feel it is kind of like a little bit of a fad. Just because I've been to some Michelin star street stalls in Thailand before because they have like a fuck ton.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like good, but also so many street food stalls are fucking bomb.
I think it's like
Yeah.
kind of counterintuitive to what the Michelin star is meant to like promote.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you need a Michelin star for you to have good food. Like I think
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
have great fucking food. And I don't give a fuck if my street food place has a Michelin star or not. If it's bomb, I'm going to eat there. I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
totally.
In fact, it pisses me off when it gets a Michelin star because now it becomes overpriced
Yeah,
and
exactly.
flooded with tourists.
Yeah.
Or
There's
like anywhere in the
nothing
world,
beats
right?
word of mouth, man. When it
Yeah.
comes to like food quality, nothing beats that.
I mean, that's meant to be what the Michelin, star was meant to
Yeah.
represent. It was meant to be coming from local word of mouth, and then judges going to judge the actual stores. But I think it's harder to judge
Yeah.
street stalls.
I had one experience one time, and I don't think you noticed. Well, we had ramen not too far from here, and it's kind of scarred me on ramen a little bit. I don't know why, but the guy was preparing the ramen, and he had a bandage on his finger that just kept falling off, and he kept putting it back on,
Right.
and he had like a clear like cut that was fresh, and he kept like this ragged bandage. He just kept like pushing it back on,
Right.
whilst he was like touching everything, and I was like.
Yeah, that's not very professional.
And I was like,
yeah.
like right in front of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't like do this.
Yeah. I mean, I think it doesn't, ramen or not, any establishment, that's pretty unacceptable.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Did it taste bomb though?
I mean, you know what? I was kind of sad because I saw him like fingering the egg a lot with his, and I couldn't eat the egg. I just couldn't. I left the egg, but I ate the noodles.
Wait,
which-
was that the one I went to with you?
Yeah.
So that means I definitely ate that.
I think, yeah, I think you did. I didn't want to tell you because I think you would have been like,
Yeah, I mean,
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to.
Joey's like, I fuck with
I
it.
feel like you were gonna eat it no matter what, and I didn't want to ruin it for you.
oh, fair enough.
And I feel like if I'd have told you that, you'd have been like,
Well, I'm never going back to that one again.
Yeah.
we never did.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
It was
since
actually,
then.
it was kind of, it was okay.
was mid.
It was mid.
It was
It was a mid. I hate to like tell that guy, but it was mid.
Yeah, considering the consistency of like how often I eat ramen and sushi, I think to this day, I think maybe I eat ramen maybe like once a month. if
Getting a
that.
mid ramen is the most painful experience ever
Yeah.
because not only have you consumed a year's worth of salt and calories, you just feel awful.
Yeah,
And then
you
you
feel
don't even feel
bloated.
good because you didn't even eat something yummy.
Yeah. Whereas like sushi, I still eat like once or twice a week.
I love like all the cheap sushis too. I love
Yeah.
expensive sushis.
And I
Love
think
all
you've
them.
forgotten what mid sushi tastes like though, because we live in Japan where there is no mid
Oh.
sushi.
Well,
Go back
Go
to
to Yo
Go
Sushi.
to Yo Sushi and humble yourself again, Connor.
no,
Go-
because that's not sushi, bro. That's fermented fish at that point. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Dusty fish isn't served here.
Yeah, like there is no such thing as mid sushi in Japan, but in the rest of the world, there most definitely
Oh, yeah.
is mid sushi.
And you know, what I did. I went to some fancy sushi place in LA recently,
oh yeah,
and it was not bad, but it was definitely strange. It was
yeah.
definitely.
They definitely have their own take on it.
and actually, to be fair, I'll tell you, it was kind of fire.
Yeah.
It was everything tasted great, but everything had still been like, it was literally like if you'd been made omakase, but like Americanified it a
Yeah.
little bit. Like they would add like grilled onions to some of them, and
Oh,
like in a
yeah.
way that I felt like, you know what, the Japanese version of like absolute like purism of this fish, and like it's purely just the fish,
yeah.
and maybe some soy sauce and some wasabi, and it's never anything else. You might get some crazy garnish very occasionally, but it's like very rare.
Right.
But you know, I appreciate that in America they don't have that restriction of like they can add something. Like if a dish just tastes amazing with some grilled onions or put some chopped ume on it, like hey, it
Yeah.
tastes amazing.
I
Like,
mean, in saying that though, I have been to a few of those kinds of establishments in Tokyo as well.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, like there was one that I went to. It was like a business dinner for nonsense that I went to, and it was this sushi restaurant where they specialized in, I guess, like sushi all around the world. So what they would do is they would take like a regular, just like, you know, sashimi, put it on some rice, but then they would put toppings on it that kind of emulated that particular country's like food. And it was really freaking good.
Oh, okay,
really, really good. Like they were putting some weird shit on there and I was like, that does not sound good at all, but it was good. Yeah.
I think a lot of people when they're with foods, a lot of people are, it has to be authentic. It has to be authentic. And I'm like, well, look, if you add something to it that's fire, a lot of these dishes were made in isolation.
Yeah.
They didn't have these ingredients. Like, why not mix and match here when it makes sense, right?
Well, I think like just fusion restaurants in general have gotten a bad rep in terms of like marketing. Because when you hear fusion, especially like in like the restaurant era when we were growing up, fusion just meant, oh, you took a local dish and it's a white person cooking it and they don't know how to cook it. That's what it meant, right?
Basically.
I hate to say it, but that's what it meant when I was growing up. But I think nowadays, like, you know, with the new international age, especially with the age of like TikTok and social media and recipes being shared around and more ingredients being used, people are finding combinations of, you know, foods that didn't exist before and that just work. You know,
I mean, research on just like food and cuisine in general is just like blowing up, especially since we were growing up as well. So like, I definitely think like fusion restaurants just in general have gotten a lot more just palatable and better.
I mean, they're not even called fusion restaurants anymore. It's more of just like, we're like Japanese restaurant, but we take a little bit of a flavor from X country, Y country. I think like I haven't seen too many of those restaurants in Japan, which is which is something I miss when I go, you know, to America or to the UK, where you have a lot of, or Australia, where you have like a lot of different flavors from a lot of different countries.
It's like, welcome to our Thai, Malaysian, Vietnamese, Cambodian restaurant.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like all of Southeast Asia.
I mean, that restaurant we went to in Australia, that's like, you know, that was like, apparently it was, you know, Australian, but with a little bit of, you know, Indonesian flavors. And that went fucking hard.
It did go hard.
You know, it went fucking hard.
True.
But unfortunately in Japan, it's all about the simplicity of the ingredients. And sometimes, like Connor said, it's cool to just mix and match.
Yeah.
And even though it's less authentic, sometimes authenticity.
And you know, if you do want that authentic stuff, there's plenty of options for it as well. So you know, it's best of both worlds.
There is like not a lot of food on earth that can't be improved with onions. I'm firmly in the camp of that. Like,
that's a bold move, bro.
Just think of how many dishes you like, and then just throw onions on it. It's just fire.
Tiramisu.
Probably there's a way to make onions. You're literally making a dessert, Jerry. All right, no. A main dish.
Excuse me, can I get my tiramisu
every single thing on this list is improved with onions.
Yeah,
I mean, onions are goated. Onions are goated.
Literally, except ice cream. Everything else works better with onions.
We can make onion ice cream work.
We can probably make it.
I mean, it's only sweet as it
Japan's
is.
definitely made it work.
Oh, bro, they have sweet potato ice cream.
They have wasabi ice cream. They can do anything. All right, so
going back to our original conversation.
Yeah,
the best ramen I've had trumps the best sushi I've had by quite a mile, actually. But just like the
consistency.
Just the consistency. The amount of times that I do end up eating ramen, I think I can count within a year on my fingers how many times I have ramen within a year.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I can justify leaving it on the list, even though you did specifically see me having my food wars moment, having the tsukemen.
True.
I'll never forget that in my life.
Yeah.
But I think
I'll never forget it either. I've never seen a man like almost coming from eating tsukemen before. Like your eyes were teary. I was like, holy shit.
It was incredible.
Ever since I realized I could tell them to make the tsukemen hot, it's been a game changer.
Like spicy?
No. Like the noodles hot.
Oh, the noodles hot. Yeah.
I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
I thought that was like blasphemous.
No. That's the best. That's the best thing to do during the winter.
I got so tired. Even in the summer, I had them hot.
Oh, really?
I got so fucking tired of dunking my noodles into my broth, and my broth would just get cold because the noodles are so cold it would cool down the broth. And I was like, damn, I want the broth warm though. And it's been a game changer. And you can make it spicy.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love ramen, but sad to see it go because sushi deserves its spot.
I think where sushi is going to move ahead with this one.
Yep.
Damn, ramen and burgers out in the first round.
It's a competitive list. It's a competitive list.
It is.